You were at Seahawks rookie minicamp, and there are some big guys out there. Byron Murphy, everyone loved what they were seeing out of him, just his physical presence. But what stood out to you about all these rookies out there?
Well, first of all, I got there on the good day because I understand Friday wasn't very well run, which you can totally understand. I don't want to say it wasn't well run. It's just that you got a bunch of rookies all coming from different places, and think about, there was 57 guys out there. Think about the manpower and the money to make that happen. Like, you got to fly all these kids in. You got to put them up. You feed them. You give them their jerseys, their helmets, everything. And then, oh, by the way, this is how we're going to practice when you've got an entire coaching staff that has just come together. So, yeah, it's just amazing to me that they were able to really get anything done. But when I got there on Saturday, I mean, they were running the drills, one coach here, another coach there. I mean, I saw Murphy going through some of the D-line. You know, they don't have pads on, so they're not hitting, but they're wearing their helmets and shorts and jerseys, and they're going through some of the drills and things like that. But, yeah, I just think I marvel at, not only for Mike McDonald, I don't know how he has time for anything. I mean, he came and sat down with us for a half hour, and I thought the whole time maybe he's thinking about, how am I going to do this? How am I going to run my defense? But not only that, just how are we going to practice? What are the drills? What are we doing? You got to teach all of those guys things that, like that. So, yeah, it was interesting, and I thought there's a kid named Siobhan Cordero who I went and said hi to, San Jose State guy, a buddy of mine.
Quarterback, right?
Yeah, he's the quarterback. And he actually completed a lot of passes. He had a good day. But I guess the day before it was kind of a mess.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean it was tough to get many completions. So yeah, it all looked very like you would have never known that that's an entirely new coaching staff, which we were talking about. Must be 25 coaches. And we got to get to the bottom of this. Like, where do they all hang out? Do they have 25 offices?
That's what I want to know. Where do they sit? Where do the analysts and all the guys who cut up film and all the assistant receivers coaches, where do they all sit and reside during the day?
Yeah. There's so many of them. And, when I was playing, there was probably 10 coaches. But, yeah, now there's basically there's 30 if you count all the strength coaches and things like that. So, and then you got some interns in there. But, I mean, all of those people coming together, it really kind of hit home because with Pete, 14 years in a row, you know exactly what you're doing, all your coaches, everything. This is how we practice, and this is all new for everyone, and it looked really well run. So, they got a lot of things done. But then also just hearing from some of the guys afterwards was really cool. And cut number 9 here, we heard from Mike McDonald on just, what are his goals and, what are they trying to accomplish?
The guys came in on Thursday, and you only have so much time to install some things. But this isn't the first time we've done this, and we're not putting everything in. So it's a balance between, trying to stress them a little bit mentally, but really the thing that you're really looking forward to is making it clear so the guys can go play fast and go, try to be able to evaluate them. Plus, build a foundation for when they come back and they have a kind of a working knowledge about how we roll. So.
Yeah, he was talking about, he goes, we got 2 coverages, cover 3, cover 4, which I'm thinking 4 is playing quarters with 3 underneath and vice versa. So, yeah, I don't know exactly, what they're going to, you couldn't really tell, is this going to be Mike's defense? What does it look like? It was kind of difficult. They weren't running hardly anything.
And I'm sure it's just technique and expectations at this point, right? Because it is all rookies. So as excited we get about seeing these guys in the field, and then you have to remember, hey, rookies have to mesh with veterans, and that'll be a whole brand new process as well. So it sounds like you were saying, you saw Thursday, maybe it was just pure orientation. Here's where the bathroom is. Here's where the locker room is. Here's how you walk from said locker room to bathroom to the field because we want you to go this way. And then Friday, it sounds like it was all the rust, the brand new learning process, and Saturday maybe starting to smooth it out a little bit.
Well, and like I said, there's 57. Yes. And, and I don't even know. I mean, the 2 Auburn kids were interviewed when I was out there, and I listened to both of them. I mean, it was it's that way for every one of those kids. So, yeah, I thought it was really well run. But also, I got a chance to watch Byron Murphy work, and, it sounds like he maybe needs to get in shape a little bit. I mean, I think because, you go to the draft and that disrupts everything and you're flying everywhere and, that it makes sense that he wasn't in shape, but Mike made a little comment about, well, we got to get him in shape, make sure he can go through an entire practice. But I don't know if he got cramps or something like that. But it was impressive watching him work just with, no pads on. But got a chance to hear from him a little bit and what he thinks of his coach.
Man, I love Coach McDonald. I feel like, he's very, very demanding. I feel like I want to play for a coach like that, a coach that pushed me, a coach that wanted me to be great. So I love it.
Yeah, so it's like I said, there's not a lot to tell about Byron Murphy, but he is a big, powerful dude. Brock Heward would have loved his calves. Yeah,
I'm sure he talked plenty about it this morning. I'm sure he will all week. But yeah, I think you're right. The weight thing, maybe because there's really nothing else to focus on when it's rookie minicamp and they're not in pads. Understandable that a big guy like that might not be in his peak game form, but you also have months to get him up there. And now he's going to have a professional regimen. He's going to be solely focused on working and playing football. From everything we've heard, this guy lives in the weight room. So I'm sure once he gets back in there, he'll be fine. So it's probably the least of my worries. Now, I know there's one guy that you mentioned that really stood out to you and when you were curious about seeing a little more of.
Yeah, the 7th round pick, offensive tackle Michael Jarrell. Going into the draft, I thought, first of all, he was very thoughtful. You know who he reminded me of? Big Ray. Ray Roberts.
Okay.
Yeah, just the way he spoke and the things that he's just different. He's just a different guy. Like he's a thinker, and he's kind of, there's some depth there, definitely. And it wasn't like every other, football player that gets up there and just says, yeah, I'm out here trying to work. I mean, he's just very thoughtful guy and remind me a lot of Ray. But this guy is very, very interesting. And I think he might be the one guy, if you're looking for somebody, you're going to go out to practice. Actually, are they going to do the open practices?
That's a good question.
Like,
we don't know.
Pete used to do. I don't know. Maybe that is something they don't want to do. But and
you will be our eyes and ears then, Dave.
Yeah, that's a lot of pressure, man. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's gonna be the same. By the way, before I get into Michael Jarrell, also the music part of it was playing. And by the way, I heard Van Halen. Heard some Van Halen out there, Panama. But it was lower, and it was like. And when he was asked about it afterwards, he's like, "Well, we're trying to teach out here," and really, that's what it's all about. So that's a departure from Pete. He liked the emotion and juice that what he used to say. It brings the juice to practice, but it really is, to me, makes sense that you would turn the volume down and we're out here trying to teach these guys. We're trying to coach them. So I think that's going to be a little bit different. But yeah, everything. The other thing is he said he didn't like any songs that has swear words in them.
Okay.
So likes to keep it clean.